What's going on, everyone? This is your boy Adam Glass, and I'm back with another one. Let's get into it. I wanted to share with y'all a couple of hidden gems I visited when I went to Amarillo, Texas these past couple of days. I think these places will suit you well during your travels, especially if you like to drive along the I-40 area, especially between Albuquerque and Oklahoma City. If you're a trucker who goes back and forth between those two cities, this is definitely a mandatory stop for you. This would really fit in your itinerary. Now, I didn't spontaneously find these places while I was out there. I was playing around in small West Texas towns on Google Maps, and I just happened to find these two gyms in Amarillo, and so I wanted to take a trip out here just to visit that. Personally, the reason why I took a trip is it was just time to get out of my city for a couple of days. I haven't been anywhere for over a year. The last time I went somewhere was, I think, last year in April 2024, when I went to the West Coast, Los Angeles. I did drive through Albuquerque. I went to Phoenix, and then I drove through LA, and then San Diego, and then El Paso, and landed back here in my town in Texas. But it was just getting old here, and so I wanted to just go drive around, look at another part of Texas apart from the city life that I'm so used to. And those past couple of days were great. I really got to see much of the desolate parts of Texas that I myself wouldn't hang around in for too long. I guess short spurts or like a dose of traveling medicine always serves you well, but living out in those parts, I don't know how people do it. And these road trips are very humbling. The ones where you're spending over 5 hours in your car in a single day trying to get to a certain place. Just you experience the whole stirring of emotions. It's very humbling. I couldn't imagine being a trucker or a truck driver having to drive through states, especially big states like California and Texas, on the regular. If you're a truck driver, I appreciate you for doing your job and bringing items to my local store so people like me can eat and buy stuff on the regular basis. The drive from where I live to Amarillo is very easy. Amarillo itself is a very small town. You can be in and out of downtown in 10 minutes. You can circle it, and maybe it should take no more than 15 minutes for you to be in and out of there if you decide to make repeat circles around it. And I got there at 4:40 p.m. too, so there wasn't really even 5 o'clock traffic like that, like you would experience in Dallas or Houston. If you live in Dallas or Houston, it'll take like 30 minutes easily to go just a mile and a half. That's asinine. So when I first got there, I was cruising around a bit. There's not really even a skyline there. It's like a miniature skyline. And as you can see from the picture, this is the best picture I could take because the best shot came from when I was on the highest point of the ramp going into downtown from I-40, but that would be too dangerous to get pictures. I didn't want to get into a car crash, but this picture right here is pretty much Amarillo. I mean, it's dust. The picture looks like dust. It's almost sundown. I mean, it was 4:40 and the sun didn't set till about 7, but still, it just looked dusty and like the sun wanted to give up on it. So after cruising downtown and riding a little bit north of it, I went straight to a Planet Fitness afterward to get some stretches in. What you'll notice about the streets of Amarillo is it's really like a rectangle or square, if you call it. Kind of like New York, where it's a easily definitive north and south, east and west. Amarillo is shaped like that. The loops or the highways in and out of it may curve once in a while, but it's very easy to get around. Like where I was from downtown, all I had to do was make like 2 left turns, or maybe literally 3, including the one I had to go to in the parking lot, but it was really easy. Amarillo is not like a sophisticated circular city like Boston or any of these weird cities where every road curves and there's all these awkward turning 2-way, 3-way street intersections. No, Amarillo is too easy to get around there. It's impossible to get lost in Amarillo. And that's what you can appreciate. I know this will be another topic for another day, but you can really appreciate these small towns, how easy it is. If you live in a big city, everything's a 45-minute adventure at least, even to go to the grocery store. No, Amarillo, I was from downtown to Planet Fitness in like 15 minutes easily. So after cruising the city for a bit, I went to the Duro Canyon. It's officially the second largest canyon in the U.S., so if you live in Texas, you can just go here if you don't want to spend the extra money or time that it takes to get to the Grand Canyon in Arizona. I've been to both the Duro Canyon and Grand Canyon twice, so to me, doing a long road trip like that to the Grand Canyon is no problem to me. I really like road trips. That's like one of my hobbies, is to just drive for hours and on hours end just to go look at something. But to you, time may be of essence. You may have a job to get back to. You may be on a busy schedule. You may have only been able to take 3 days off instead of a full week. So it does make sense if you're in Texas to only go to the Palo Duro Canyon. Think of the Palo Duro Canyon as a light Grand Canyon. You probably won't have to share scenic views with a large crowd like you would the actual Grand Canyon in Arizona. So that's an advantage if you're going to a lesser known place. And I know in these other places, a lot of people like to go by themselves. And so if you're trying to be alone, if you're just feeling antisocial, or you're trying to take a sabbatical from your family, I wouldn't advise going to the Grand Canyon, Arizona. That's probably going to be really crowded. In fact, last year when I went in April, I went there on a Saturday, and you could tell me I could have went on a Monday, but that's just how the trip worked out for me. I got there on a Saturday, and you can barely find parking. Crowds everywhere. You have to watch out and make sure you don't walk in front of someone taking a picture. So places like Palo Duro that are like lesser known and out of the way, it could be great for if you're just trying to do something by yourself. And getting there is really easy. It's about 30 to 40 minutes outside of Amarillo, but it's almost a straight shot. You can take I-20, and there's like just one exit you turn off of. You go left all the way until you get to the park entrance, and from there you pay for your parking. Well, you don't pay for parking literally. You pay for the pass, for the day pass, and you do your thing, and it's all good. I think it does. The road does go in a full loop, so if you get there in the morning, you have all day, and you're golden. So let's get into some of the pictures I took. One of those standard pictures of a peak. This was around 6:30ish, something like that. It was really beautiful outside. It was perfectly 70 degrees. I don't know if that was fate for it to be literally perfect weather like that, but this picture may look boring, but trust me, that was the greatest time to be there. Here I am driving into the canyon. This is one of the first scenic views you can park at when you first enter the park. This video doesn't do it any justice. Like I said before, the weather was perfect. It was only 70 degrees. It was really quiet too. It was almost dead silent. It was just me and another guy who've seen this video. But this video is not doing it any justice. It's a lot taller in person. It feels like you can actually, that drop you see, it's a bigger drop than how it looks on video. It's a very beautiful picture. If there's no other picture you take in that park, this is the only picture you really need to take. Everything else, even the pictures I'm showing you, it's kind of boring compared to this. But this view just makes for the whole visit. Just leaving the park, catching the tail end of the sunset. If you live in West Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, you know what these sunsets are all about. And guys, the Palo Duro Canyon isn't even one of those hidden gems I wanted to share with you guys in this video. This is my second time here, as I went 7 years ago for an exploration kind of thing, like I did in this video, so I can't pretend like I found out about Palo Duro spontaneously while I was out here. The hidden gems I'm referring to are where you need to be staying if you ever come through Amarillo. One of Amarillo's gyms are their Big Texan Steak Ranch. I mean, it's really cool. It was like the cheapest steak prices you can ever find here in the U.S. The steakhouse is right off I-40. I couldn't tell you what exit it is, but from the Palo Duro Canyon, it's going to be about a 35-minute drive from there to there. And it's beautiful. The floors had that pristine wood kind of thing going on with it. It was like that whole place could have been a square dance hall. When you first walk in, it's like a mini mall where you have a bakery on the right, gift shop on the left, and you have a bar straight ahead. The restaurant is tucked to the right. You have to reserve it, then you got to check in again just to get a seat there. So it did feel kind of exclusive. And yes, I know this video doesn't show the whole inside of the steakhouse, but I didn't want to be that coop with the camera just filming everything. But this video is where they sat me. They sat me on the second story, the upper deck, where I got a pretty good view of everyone. There's a lot of old people there too. So what makes this steakhouse the steakhouse it is their 72-ounce steak challenge, where if you eat their 72-ounce steak along with the sides they give you within an hour, you get the whole meal for free. If you don't, you got to pay for it, but it was still a hell of a deal. It was only $72 according to their menu if you don't finish it all. The bad news is if you do the challenge, you have to eat it in front of the crowd. What they'll do is they have that section you see in the video, and they'll introduce you in front of the crowd, and you can't just eat in peace. People are going to come up to you and take pictures. I did that. One of them looked at me funny. I don't blame them, but that was a big ass piece of steak. I had to go see it for myself. Let's look at that steak one more time. This is 72 ounces. Fuck. And you can't beat these prices, seriously. Where else are you going to get a 10-ounce filet mignon for $30? Not just a filet mignon, but I think that does come with sides. Where they do that at? You better come here before it gets way too expensive to do anything. Here's my little 12-ounce ribeye that I had. It had nothing on the 72-ounce. I was not about to eat that. I wanted sides too. The mashed potatoes were good. I don't know what they did to them. It's like they put extra buttermilk in it. It was had this distinct sweetness to it. And as you can see, I already ate the salad. I didn't even wait for that because the salad, they did bring that out to me first, and the rolls came later. But yeah, I just had my 12-ounce steak. This was at least three times better than the Texas Roadhouse. The menu prices were like Texas Roadhouse prices, but the quality is at least three times better than Texas Roadhouse. So this brings us to Amarillo's second hidden gem. It's their motel, and I know what y'all are thinking. A motel, really? But this motel is right next to their steakhouse. You can go and have yourself a feast. You can have yourself the 72-ounce challenge, and you can go walk back and crash out without having to drive anywhere. I don't know about y'all, but having a hotel right next to bars and restaurants you want to go to, you can't beat that. And the kicker about this motel is it was cheaper than the Holiday Inn right up the street from it. The Holiday Inn, I would have had to walk a mile to go get this steak, but the motel was only like 100 feet from it. So you're talking about an $85 a night room next to a $30 steak meal that you can get in an hour. You can't beat that. Come on, tell me where they do that at. And going back to those other hotels, they were at least $115 a night. So if you're gonna choose $115 and walking a mile to the steakhouse over an $85 motel that's 100 feet away, I think you're asinine. I think you're crazy as hell. But yeah, you can crash here again, be back on the road in the morning and not have to walk too far. If you come here with your girlfriend, ladies, if you come here with your boyfriend, husband, kids, anyone like that, you can crash out and not have to worry about car accidents anywhere like that, any traffic. You can just go have a good ass time, drink as many beers as you want, get the cheapest steaks in West Texas, and be on your way. That's all for this video. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch and listen. Make sure you comment below. Let's get a conversation going. Have your opinions be known. Let people know whether or not you're rocking with what I'm saying. Remember, no one has to have a certain viewpoint on this channel. This is not a cult. If you guys have any requests for a topic or any suggestions, comment that below as well. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. See you guys in the next one.